Have you guys ever wanted to try to recreate this look?
We must be over the rainbow.
I'm going to show you guys the process on how to recreate a 3-strip Technicolor look. Oh, quick disclaimer, the power grade to the node tree is in the description box below, free for you guys to download, and you guys can use it for all your projects. So what is Technicolor? Technicolor is a color addition with a subtractive color theory. And I'm going to explain that to you because understanding the science behind it, it's just incredible how advanced we have become in technology. I mean, literally, programs like DaVinci Resolve takes all the math work from us and does it for us. I mean, we gotta think about the mathematicians involved back in the day because they didn't have programs like DaVinci Resolve, Premiere, Avid, or anything like that to create a whole movie. They really wanted color, and to be frank, the very first, films that were created actually used what we called Technicolor, which was a 2-strip Technicolor. The 3-strip Technicolors, it used a beam splitter prism, okay? And what this beam splitter prism did is that it separated the light into red, green, and blue components. They made it to where it was subtracting the red, green, blue and adding in the cyan, yellow, and magenta. And it had to be properly mixed just right in order to make this 3-strip Technicolor look properly. So there is a subtractive process, and then there's a addition process or an additive process. So in theory here, okay, the intensity of each color dye, it needs to be carefully calculated to produce the desired hues by removing or subtracting the portions of the red, green, and blue light. In combination, in theory, the cyan dye will absorb the red light, allowing only green and blue, and magenta dye absorbs the green, allowing only red and blue. And then the yellow dye, it absorbs what? Blue, allowing only the red and green. A good pro colorist finds ways to speed up their coloring workflow, right? And the best method to speed it up is having structure already made. So you're creating those node tree structures so you can use for future films, like for commercials or narratives or documentaries. You can have a node tree structure for each, and that way you can always go back to them and use them. What we're going to end up doing is, I already have this right here as a node tree structure underneath my gallery, and in order to create like a folder here, we're going to right click and we're going to add a power grade album. Right, to import this, we're going to go ahead and right click, we're going to go ahead and import, and you're going to see this, it's called a .dpx 3-strip Technicolor. So we're going to go ahead and import it, and we're going to go ahead and apply the grade. Before we go ahead and do this, we're going to go ahead and check our color management. We want to work in DaVinci Wide Gamut, DaVinci Intermediate, and our output color space is going to be set to Rec 709, Gamma 2.4. We want to make sure our 3D lookup table is set to tetrahedral, and we want to make this broadcast safe. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and press show compound node. So what were we talking about before with the Technicolor? Well, it's all a subtractive color theory to add the cyan, the magenta, and the yellow, right? And in order to do this, we need to isolate the red, green, and blue channels. And what we're going to be using is the RGB mixer, okay, to create the isolation. So we're going to have a node here, and we're going to isolate the red channel. And isolating on the RGB mixer, we're going to make sure that everything is set to 0, right? And we're going to have this to 1. And make sure that your preserve luminance is not checked, otherwise it will look kind of funky. We're going to do the same with our green, and remember, green is 1, everything else is 0. And our blue channel is going to be 1, everything else is going to be 0. Now What did we talk about before? It's all that subtractive theory. This is our subtraction. In theory, you're supposed to be cutting it in half, but with that, I have found that it doesn't really translate well with the whole mix in place. So we do not want to do that. What we're gonna end up doing is bringing this down to 15. Every shot that I've ever color graded with this, it's properly mixed, and I'll show you guys why after we get done going through this whole node tree structure. What we need to do is we need to subtract a portion of the red, a portion of the green, and a portion of the blue in order to create the cyan, the yellow, and the magenta. So what we're gonna do here is, with this being here, this is our portion that we are subtracting from the red, green, and blue to create that cyan, magenta, and yellow. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna create 3 layer nodes. All you have to do is right click and you can press add layer mixer. And on these layer mixers, you want to put subtract, okay? It's very important because otherwise this mixture is not gonna work right. We're gonna go ahead and subtract on all these. And we're gonna take the red channel and put it to our layer mixer, right? And we're gonna subtract the portion of the green channel, okay? Now on our green layer mixer, we're gonna take our green and subtract the red and, let me just try to undo this, the red and the blue, okay? So we're gonna take this and bring it down to this layer mixer, right? And then on our blue channel, the only thing that we are going to be using is the blue. We're going to be subtracting the blue, okay? Now we're going to add in the cyan, the yellow, and the magenta. We're going to create 3 new nodes. These nodes are just empty nodes, okay? We can't add a layer mixer right behind our layer mixer. It just won't work. And you can add a node by just doing Option S, and Option S will create a node, or you can right click and add node, add serial node. And also on the layer mixers, we're going to create 3 new layer mixers, and on these we're going to go ahead and click add on all of them, okay? So we subtracted the red, green, blue to add in what? The cyan, the yellow, and the magenta. All right? So all these are set to add. And in order to add a layer mixer, you can do so by just pressing Option L, but I can't do that on here because it's a compounded node, and I can only do that in a regular node structure. Now we have this added. We want to add what? A portion of the blue channel on our red, right? And on our green, we want to add a portion of the blue channel. So we're going to go ahead and put these from our portion of blue onto our green channel, okay? And our red channel here. Our green here is going to go straight to our blue because we want a portion of the green onto the blue. Now that we did that, our node tree is almost completed. But there is a couple more things or technicalities that we gotta work through. We're gonna look at this one right here. We're gonna go back to our RGB mixer, and instead of what we did over here, where we did red, green, blue at the red channel and vice versa on all of them, we're just gonna work on an individual basis. So now all the colors are isolated, and now we can properly mix the red, green, blue with the cyan, yellow, and magenta. We're gonna go ahead and put the red and make sure that your preserve luminance is not set, and these are just serial nodes, okay? Again, it's Option S to create a new serial node. Green, we're gonna bring it up to 1, and our blue channel, we're gonna bring it up to 1. Got it? Our last layer mixer that we're gonna do, this is a layer mixer, and the cool thing about it is that you can just drag and drop and it will add a new input on here. So you guys don't need to worry about trying to add another input or whatever like that. It's just there. On this one, we're gonna put add. This is our final node here, okay? And it's the most important one to create the Technicolor look. Okay, now technically I can delete this one and I can go back out of the compound node and use this as my look. Now look what it's doing, okay? I want you to see what's happening within the footage, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off and on. You see what it's happening? So it is isolating all the colors and creating more of a pop. It does look digital, but it isn't, okay? So let's just create something. Let's just create a look. And we're gonna create this by simply just, let's just break this apart. And let's just bring down a worm, something like that. And we're gonna get a little more red and something like that. Very subtle look, okay? I really like that. We got some green going on, and I might actually end up bringing down the green just a little to balance out the green. You know, bring down the blue a little bit more. Now for our final node here, our look adjustment, what's the one characteristic to film that everyone craves? Okay, it's the imperfections. And obviously in Technicolor, there's imperfections because it was shot on analog. And we need to recreate the halation, the bloom, and you know, the grain, but of course, there's already grain in this footage because it was shot in nostalgic. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna type in our film look creator. I really love the way that this works. And the only thing that we're gonna be using out of this is we're gonna type in clean slate and we're gonna go to halation. We're gonna go to bloom. Now the last thing I wanna do is I really wanna create more of a fade because I really like the matted look. There we go, something like that. And we're gonna add a little bit more saturation to it. Not too much. Okay, we're gonna see if everything is okay and if anything is breaking. And right now I'm using noise reduction. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off, because obviously it is messing with my computer. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna bring in DCTL. Now, if you guys don't know, I am a big fan of Qazi. He is one of my mentors, and this thing is absolutely nuts, okay? It's called the color charts. And these QT charts will help you set your contrast. That's where this mid-gray comes from, right? It helps you set the contrast, and it also has saturation, false color, skin hue. And we'll go into that in our next video, so stay tuned for that for next week. So we're looking at this false color here, and it's looking really good. Like, we're not overexposed on any areas, except for some peaks here in the highlights, but I'm not too worried about that. As far as our saturation goes, we are really pushing these colors. Nothing is out of limits, so we are good with that. And then we're gonna check our skin hue. Our skin hue, it does show a little magenta here, some green in her hair, but I'm not worried about the hair, I'm more worried about the skin tones. Skin tones I feel like is absolutely perfect, so we're just gonna leave it the way it is. Let's walk you guys through the node tree. So we got the noise reduction, and this was our last node that I added. And our CSTN, which is our color space transform. So what this is doing is it's telling DaVinci Resolve saying, hey, I am working on this shot here, in RE wide gamut 4, RE log C4, but I want to work into DaVinci wide gamut, DaVinci intermediate. Can you change it for me, please? That's exactly what you're asking. And DaVinci Resolve says, okay. So we're gonna go into our CST out. Our CST out is just the opposite. We told DaVinci Resolve's like, okay, I'm done working in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm done. I'm completely done. Oh, no, just kidding. So what we're telling DaVinci is that I am done working in DaVinci Wide Gamut and DaVinci Intermediate. Now I want to get ready for export, and I want to work in the Rec 709 Gamut 2.4. And I want my tone mapping to be set to our max input at 10,000 nits. Okay, so now we are properly in the Rec 709. So we got that all proper, we balanced it out, we added our 3-strip Technicolor, right? Wow, look what it did. That is, oh gosh. And we created a subtle, warm look, right? We added our film texture, our elation, and our bloom, and there you have it. Our last node was our noise reduction. Our noise reduction, this is my settings for my noise reduction. I really don't push my noise reduction that much, simply because when you add noise reduction, it does soften the image. There is a workaround for that, and we could create one more node right here and just bring the sharpening back. And you don't want to do too much, you know, you don't want to go over the top with it. I normally keep it around 46 or 47. Well, hey guys, I hope you guys got a lot out of this video today. It was very, very fun, you know, creating this Technicolor look. Tune in next week though, because we're going to be going into how to shot match, and it's a very important topic I really want to get into for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys are new to this channel, please consider to smash that like button and click that subscribe button and click that bell notification icon, because we are posting DaVinci Resolve tutorials every week. You know, also remember that this node tree structure is in the description box below. So until next time, practice and create.